Hi all. I thought I would do something I don't recall ever doing before, and that's uh, giving you a little guided tour of my studio area, if you will. Just to give you an idea of the room I got to deal with here, I'll just do a. Okay, here's my setup, and then those doors there go out into my dining room in my house, and then there's this up here. Oh, there's my cool Led Zeppelin poster my daughter got me, and my Jimi Hendrix poster my daughter also got me. But anyway, to do a certain it's a very small room, very small. I think it used to be a bedroom, and then I've got all this over here. The acoustics in here really blow, but I do most of my work with headphones on anyway. But just to give you an idea of where I work, I've still got some office stuff in here that I still conduct business in here. I'm a graphic designer and a photo editor, and I still do some work out of this office here. So I've got to have the scanner, this big boy printer over here. But as far as my sound gear goes, I have dual monitors here. These are 27-inch monitors. Works really nicely this way because I usually keep it in this configuration. This is Ableton Live, by the way, if you're wondering. I usually keep the session view, or the arrangement view down below, because that's where I compose most of my stuff. And then up here is my mixer. So, and then as far as speakers go, I've got two PreSonus Eris 5s. And I mounted those to the wall, and they're on these cool arms that I bought from on Amazon, I guess. And then these monitors here, these are my IK Multimedia iLouds, which are, I think, the truest sounding speakers I've ever heard. I got those used, I think. Yeah, I got them used. No, wait, they were, yeah, well, whatever. I think they were returns, and I got them off of an online store somewhere. But anyway, then over here, I have my wiring cable management system down here that you can check out. This is my Spark LE. The best drum machine ever as far as I'm concerned, but others may differ, of course. And down here I have a Tascam US 4x4 audio input. It's a real good input. I haven't had a minute's worth of trouble with it. Sounds great. My Mackie Big Knob. That's for to control my monitors. I can switch back and forth, A and B my monitors here, and then you've got mute, switch it to mono if you want, select the source. So since I only use two sets of speakers, it works out great. I guess if I had any more speakers, I'd have to get something else, but anyway. Then I have my Novation circuit. I haven't found a lot of use for that yet. It's kind of like a fun toy, but there's a lot of people that take it really serious, and I just probably haven't got into it as much as I should, but it really is a cool unit, and I'm going to keep it and try to develop some of my stuff on that. And then I've got this launch control that I control the circuit with. So basically what it does is gives me a circuit with faders, and it really works nice. And I also use this with my iPad over there too. Plug it directly into my iPad, and I can control several different synths with this controller. And then, oh, here's one of my earphones that I've got several pairs. I've got earphones all over, or headphones. These happen to be my Grados that I just like to use for general purpose stuff. And then I've got my Amio hearing device, which my earphones go into here, and then this goes into my earphone or my headphones out. And what this does is it's a frequency correction device, which helps with my bad hearing. So it actually allows me to adjust the frequencies that I can't really hear that great at, and it's a dynamite little device, and it's a great thing for correcting bad hearing. So, and then over here I've got a APC 40. I used to have the old style one, and I got rid of that, and then I was just using this mixer up here, and then I wanted something with faders on it again, and this isn't ideal. I mean, I'd rather have a really nice, like maybe a 24 channel mixer or more with motorized faders. But for Ableton, as a controller, there's just nothing on the market that works that well. And I've had at least four mixing controllers that I can think of, and I hated them all. But anyway, and this is my 12.9 inch iPad, and I use this for a lot of mixing too. In fact, that's probably my main mixing board or mixing surface for when I'm doing mixing and mastering. And a lot of my synthesizers are on here too that I use. Let's see, I've got Effect Synths, and I've got several here that I use a lot. Synth One here is one that I really like a lot. And I connect that with to my desktop via Studio Mux. If you've ever used that, it interfaces with your desktop. And then one of my favorite keyboards right here that I use a lot. My box is down here, and I've got a external drive there on top of that. I've got external drives everywhere. There's one over there, that one. I've got another one in the closet over here. And then over here, under there, I've got a 10-inch JBL sub. I don't remember the model, but it's a real good sub. And over here I've got a launch pad, my Magical Mystery globe that I like to look at while I'm mixing. And over here I've got this cool stand that I bought, and you can buy extra racks for it. It has these arms that you can, I don't know if you can see that very well, but anyway, it has these arm attachments, and I put my cord mini log down there below. And then this is a Yamaha Reface DX. It's a FM synthesizer. I'm really into FM, love it. And then I use this iPad right here that I've just got a bungee cord holding it onto the stand, but that's a really old iPad, and all I really use it for is downloading patches from Soundmondo off the internet to my DX. And like Soundmondo, if you're not familiar with it, it's just a huge library of presets for that synth. And so it just like, I've got it like wired directly into the DX, and that's all I really use that iPad for. But it's really handy to have, a separate iPad just for patches. And then over here is my acoustic guitars, and more cable management down here. Here is my this is my Heritage H150. It's a custom made. It's a custom made Heritage guitar built in Kalamazoo, It used to be an old Les Paul factory, I think. But anyway, it's custom made. It's got some really, really sweet Lawler P90s on there that really sound awesome. And I've got guitar cases stuffed under here. There's my pedal board that I made. I built this myself, and it's all with the little mini effects that you can buy now, and they're really inexpensive, and you can just buy a whole freaking bag of them. And so I just got a wah-wah pedal down here, and well, anyway, I'm not going to go over this whole thing, but you get the idea. But it really works great. I've got a hard shell case for it somewhere, and so I can just, if I want to go to a jam or something, I can just pack this thing up in 2 seconds, and we're good to go. Over here's my little orange amp, nice sounding little practice amp. I don't have any more big amps. I sold all those when I quit performing live, so I don't have. I've had so many amps I don't even remember. Them all. Yeah, I've got a couple of other controllers over here. This one here, this little tiny one, is great because I'll take that and my iPad if I go on a trip somewhere, and I can still rock out with with that little thing. And then I don't use this that much, but I probably will at some point. And then more office equipment under there. And then I got this up here. I got this real old violin that my ex-father-in-law gave me years ago. It's ancient, and I don't even know if it can be brought back. It's in disrepair, it's got cracks, but I don't know, one day I wanted to get it restored, but I don't know. Maybe not, I don't know. And then over here, these are some CDs that my friends, bandmates, and whatnot, it's their CDs that they've given me copies of. This one here was done by a real good friend of mine, Nate Sauer, very talented bass player and guitar player, songwriter, one of the nicest guys and most naturally talented people I've ever met. And that's a really good album that, of course, nobody's ever heard of. But this is my oldest daughter. Her husband was in this group. They toured around the U.S., Milagros. Anyway, he was in that group. That's their CD. This one, Angry Inch, my former bass player, Sean Henderson, that was his group. And it's just like headbanging rock and roll. This is a CD that my band, Danger Man, I played lead guitar and sang lead in this group. That's my CD. Then this one here, my good friend Dan Hively, that's his solo album. Another one of my groups, the last group I was in before I quit performing live, the Surf Cats. We played surf instro, all instrumental guitar and bass and drums in the surf style, and we played everywhere and anywhere. I mean, we played all kinds of events, concerts. We played everywhere, and so by the time I got done with that band, I was totally wore out, and that's one of the reasons I got out of performing live. I'm too old for that stuff now. And then this is my wife's or my stepson's group. That's his CD, and that's pretty much it as far as the. I wanted to also this whole unit right here, because I've got such poor acoustics in here. This used to be a closet. I don't know if you can tell by looking at this, but this whole thing here was a closet. But when we bought this house, it had this whole unit built into it, and my first project after the first of the year is to get rid of that unit. And what my plan is to restore this to being a closet, and I would like to put doors, like a door flush here that goes all the way across to the other side, and it would connect up there. and then build like customized shelves inside the closet, and then on the outside of the, then at that point this whole thing would be flush with this wall on over. And I would like to put like some sound panels on the outsides of the door. That's how I envision this thing working. That way I can get all this office stuff, like the, you know, the printers and the scanners, all this other junk in the closet out of my line of sight. And maybe it'll improve the acoustics in here, but I don't know, because my ceiling, let me show you the ceiling. It's at an angle, like almost like a barn. So I don't know how that's going to work out. So I guess we'll just have to try. Oh, here's my guitar rod that my wife bought me. And so that's pretty much, that's it. My beautiful new chair that I got a few months ago. It's an excellent chair. I can sit there for, you know, 6 or 7 hours, no trouble at all. So, but that's pretty much it. So anyway, this is where I work. All right then, see ya.